Are you ready to start making money off of your art with commissions? Have you tried before and just never gotten traction with it? Are you overwhelmed at just this massive amount of information about how people think that you should start getting commissions? Well, today, I'm going to give you a one-stop shop tutorial on everything you need to know about how to make money off of your art with art commissions, and it's going to start right now. Hey, welcome back, y'all. This is the Art Mentor. My name is Sean. I'm a veteran art teacher and freelance artist. Today, we're going to talk about my favorite topic, which is how to start getting art commissions. So the reason why I'm making this video is because there is a ton of outdated information. Like, there's stuff all the way back from when I was in high school that's still being circulated, and it's totally antiquated. So a lot of this video is going to directly contradict a lot of other videos that I've watched and a lot of other information that I've been told about how to start getting art commissions. And my purpose is this, is I want to teach you how to start to make money off of your art from scratch. And again, that's because a lot of information out there that's being circulated, has been circulated for a long time, is from really established artists, and they don't know how to start from scratch nowadays. So this is going to be a concise knowledge bomb, a one-stop shop tutorial about everything you need to know. So make sure you watch it all the way through. I'm going to be tackling everything, literally everything you need to know, from mindsets to pricing to where to go to where not to go, and so much more. So let's get into it. All right, so the first topic that we have to discuss are bad websites. There's a ton of websites out there, and you need to understand that your platform matters. So I'm going to name out a few. I'm going to call out some. So here we go. First off, Fiverr. Fiverr's awful. It promotes really cheap artwork. Same thing with artisan clients. You've got a whole lot of people selling for really stupidly cheap art. Facebook is also another really bad platform for any type of art commissions. There's just too many people out there. Also, DeviantArt. I love DeviantArt, and I'm going to talk about why DeviantArt is really great later in this video. But specifically, their commission shops, not a good way that you should go about getting commissions either. And the real reason why these are not good websites for you to use is because all of their platforms do two things. Is that number one, they promote really cheap art. And I'm going to talk to you about why that's bad later on in this video. But also because some of them, most of them in fact, outside from Facebook that I just mentioned, they're going to take a portion of your money. And I want you to just get paid and keep all of that money for yourself. Minus a little PayPal fee every once in a while. But that's it. Everything should be yours. The issue with oversaturation is this, is that when you're going to be applying for a job, is that it's kind of like this. If you are presented with 4 cars and they're all very comparable, which one are you going to choose? Naturally, you're going to choose probably the cheapest one, okay? And that's exactly how most clients are going to look at it. When you are applying to a job post that has more than 30 different applicants for it, they are only going to be looking for not the best work, but the cheapest work. And that's not where you want to be. So these are not good websites for you to use. Now, what are you going to get commissioned for? And that takes us to this topic. Your genre and topic is going to definitely make a name for yourself. So as you're starting from scratch, you should just pick one genre and kill it. This is my ultimate advice for you, and this is the major rookie mistake that most artists make when they're just starting out with commissions, because what they want to do is present themselves as a jack of all trades. So for example, they're going to say, well, I can do pet portraits, I can do human portraits, I can do fantasy, I can do medieval, I can do landscapes, oh, and I can also do sci-fi, futuristic stuff. So this is a terrible idea because it's confusing. And from a client's perspective too, they don't know exactly what you can do because typically you don't have a lot of examples of everything. So instead of this strategy, use this strategy. Just pick one particular topic, kill it, and then once you have an established client base and you have work of that particular genre, then you can expand. So for example, myself, I started out by doing a lot of near future military sci-fi art. That's a long-winded thing to say, I know. But I started out doing that, and then I started to branch into more fantasy artwork. And now specifically, my genre that I really enjoy working with is Dungeons & Dragons characters. So anything within that fantasy realm is my particular penchant. I love that stuff. So again, I started and I got there from doing one particular genre, and then I expanded outwards. And this is something, again, that a lot of newer artists make. They want to be able to try and do everything, but if you try and conquer everything, you will conquer nothing. Now, That being said though, you're never going to get clients interested in your artwork unless you have this. Your portfolio is your body of work that's going to instill confidence into your client. So you need relevant examples of whatever you are going to apply for. So for example, if you want to start to do landscape artwork or you want to start to do environment artwork, you need to show environment artwork. And this is also a really huge rookie mistake, is that I see people applying for environment concept art jobs, and what are they putting up? Here's my furry artwork, here's my character artwork, here's my portrait, oh, here's my pet portrait over here. None of this matters when you're making your portfolio. Two methods come into play here. Number one, the most obvious one, is that you should make up a bunch. So for example, if you want to start to do World of Warcraft character portraits, okay? You should just do a whole bunch of them. Just look them up. You can do your own if you have characters, and here's the method I use that I've never heard anybody talk about before, but it's been extremely effective for me at multiple points in my career freelancing, is this. Take requests. You can use requests to bolster your portfolio, especially if you want to gear it towards a genre that you've not had a lot of experience with, but you want to break into. So here's how I did it, and here's how I recommend you do it too. You can do this on any platform, but specifically I did this on DeviantArt. So in the DeviantArt project forums. So I went ahead and I put up a thread and I just asked, hey, I want to do your Dungeons & Dragons characters. Literally in 24 hours, I had over 50 posts. And the great thing about this is that then I got to go through and cherry pick which ones I actually wanted to do and which ones I didn't want to do. And I reached out to the people that I did want to do them. And those people, they are thrilled to have their characters made. So if you're devoid of any type of inspiration, definitely taking requests can be an awesome way for you to just quickly bolster your portfolio. The other great thing about taking requests is this. You don't have to complete them. You're under no obligation to because you're not being paid to do so. So that's another huge advantage to it as well. Then once you have your portfolio ready to submit to clients, then a lot of people are still following this bad advice. A lot of people are still making commission sheets. This is a bad practice, and it's horribly prevalent. And let me tell you why I don't agree with this practice and why you shouldn't either. Most importantly is that it basically reduces the art making process down to a McDonald's drive-thru. So you have people that are gonna come over to you, they're gonna look at your pictures and say, yeah, hey, I'd like character artwork and I'd like a simple background and I'd like it to be in black and white. So this is a really impersonal process. The major issue with this too is that most clients are only going to look at the price first and then your artwork and not the other way around like you hope it will be. But if you really are for this process, here's what I would recommend that you do. You should state on there starting at. Why? Because starting at is not definitive. Starting at implies that there's a dialogue, there's a conversation. Commission sheets, not a good idea, shouldn't be happening anymore. Instead of a commission sheet, here's what I recommend that you do. You should just put up your examples on whatever site you're going to use, and you should always ask them to DM you. It's always best to have a conversation about the pricing, like I'm going to guide you through how to do very soon here, rather than you just explicitly state any type of character artwork is X amount of dollars. Not a good practice. And then as far as where you should be looking for that, here's my advice for you. The analogy I want to use here is that you should not go fishing, you should just go to the fish market. And I say this because way too many artists are advised just kind of put out a line and just hold it there, hold it steady, and just be patient and wait for that perfect client to come. The issue here is that way too many artists give up on trying to get art commissions, and maybe this is you too, you've had this experience, and you've not gotten any bites. This overall method of trying to attract your perfect client, that's for established artists, not for people starting from scratch. So here are my recommendations for you to go to that are definitely going to get you clients. So my first one is going to be the DeviantArt job offers form. So here, clients put up their projects and it's very easy for you to figure out if you want it or not. And I made an entire guide on how to do this properly, which I'll link up here and down below too. The second one I want to recommend to you is Reddit. Reddit is a newer platform for me, but I've been experiencing a lot of success with it and I love Reddit, to be honest. So Reddit, specifically on Reddit, what you want to do is you want to look for subreddits that have to do with the genre of artwork that people want to hire you for. So for me personally, I do a lot of Dungeons & Dragons character artwork, so I'm in a lot of those subreddits and I can advertise there, and I've been able to get a pretty steady flow of clientele from there as well. The last one, and this is a mega piece of advice for you, it's actually something I tried recently, what I recommend to you is go to specific websites where those types of clients hang out. So for me, I actually went to the Dungeons and Dragons official forums, and I got permission from one of the moderators to put up a post asking people if they would like me to make their artwork for a fee, of course. These are all really good strategies for you. These are good places to go, and there's other places that exist there too, depending on what your genre, what your topic is gonna be. So again, don't try to attract your client. Instead, you wanna go to where they are and find them there. It's much easier. Now, once you find your client and you have them hooked, you need to do this. So now you need to qualify your client. And this needs to happen through a conversation. And y'all, I gotta tell you, nobody, and I mean nobody, ever talks about this because everybody has subscribed to the model of you just need to put out that commission sheet and get paid and do the artwork. And I gotta tell you though, this is not a really effective process because it depersonalizes it. And you want that personalized experience for that client. So here's my advice for you. When you find that client that's interested in your artwork, you need to have a personal conversation with them through a direct message. My personal preference is Discord because Discord is instantaneous. Now, the purpose of this is overall to build trust, because if you are going to get somebody to pay you for artwork, the number one thing that you need to do through your examples and then through your pricing and then now through your conversation as you're qualifying them for your client, because it's just as important for you to feel comfortable working with the client as the client is to be comfortable working with you, is overall build trust and confidence in your ability to produce artwork at the level that they expect for the money that they're paying out of respect. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, here's what this looks like, and here's how you should structure it. And go ahead and take some notes on this if you'd like. So here we go. The first thing you want to ask is, what are you wanting to have done? And then be specific with it. Like for example, if they want a character made, do you want full body, half body? Do you want a bust? Do you want a portrait? And then ask them, okay, do you have any references for this? References are key. A lot of people don't ask for references and they get themselves into a pickle because they bite off more than they can chew just because they're eager or they're scared. So once you have that established, then you want to get excited about it and definitely praise them. Oh, that's an awesome idea. I love that. That's so cool. Hey, what if we did this? Then you can talk to them and have suggestions about what to do to make their artwork even cooler. And then you should definitely ask them specifics on it. Like, oh, what about this? Do they have to have that? Or, hey, it would be an upcharge for me to do this. Then once you're all set and you're done with that, and you've also talked about things like backgrounds, is it simple, is it semi-detailed, is it highly illustrative, things of that nature, then you need to go ahead and wrap it up with the pricing, right? And what you want to say, as I have done, is make it a really low pressure sales scenario. So just say, hey, so for one character, full bodied, full color, and with a simple background, it's going to be X amount of dollars. That would be my fee. How does that fit within your budget? And then that way, if there's any type of objections to it, then you can come back and say, okay, well, can't do it for that pricing that you feel comfortable with, but I could do a bust or I could do a half body. So try and meet them halfway. Again, this is the point of the conversation that needs to take place between you. Now, the point of pricing brings me to this important topic. You need to value yourself because your value is a reflection of your price tag. And the issue here is that a lot of people horribly undercharge themselves, and you need to charge a respectable fee. A lot of people suffer from one of two mindsets. The first one is that you should produce cheap artwork because that's what everybody else does, and you would rather get some money rather than no money, right? Wrong. This is a horrible, horrible mindset, simply because of this fact. If I checked in with somebody that was charging $5, $10, $20, 6 months from now, they're still charging the exact same fee. Also, if I checked in with them 2 years later, they're definitely still charging the same, a little more, maybe $5 went up to $20, woo, or they would be not even producing artwork or not offering commissions because they're just burnt out. I don't blame them. Why would I charge $10 for artwork when I could just go and get a job at McDonald's and make that in an hour? It doesn't make sense. Why would I then dump 4, 5, 6 hours into an artwork for what I could make in one at a real job? It doesn't make sense. So definitely don't do that because you're horribly devaluing the art community. The other popular mindset that a lot of people need to break away from is a scarcity mindset. So here's what I mean by that. A lot of artists will superimpose their financial situation onto their potential client base. So listen, you're not responsible for anyone else's financial situation. You're only responsible for your own. And just to bring you up for a moment, you're able to do what most people cannot do. So just to be clear on that, 1% of the population identifies themselves as an artist. So you are better right now than the other 99% that self-identifies not even be able to draw a stick figure. So that should really bolster your confidence and make you understand why you should charge respectable rates. So you need to figure out from the outset, what are you going to charge minimally, and I'm talking minimally. If you can't feel comfortable charging $50 to $75, even just starting out from scratch, then you should not be doing commissions. You should really just pause, work on your portfolio, bolster your skills, and then try it again. So now that you understand how awesome you are, you need to never do this. Don't give discounts, y'all. Just stop it. Don't give discounts. It's not worth it. The number one reason I'm going to advise you against giving discounts on your artwork is, number one, it makes you look cheap. Number two is because most of the time, as you're dealing with human clients, they deal with human needs, and that inevitably entails them running out of money. And it happens all too frequently, okay? You're going to see people all the time that will promise to give you work for 10 or 20 artworks, and then they're only going to pay you for 2 or 3 of them and then knock out because they've ran out of money. This is also a really big art scam I see happen a lot, where people just want cheaper artwork than what you're available to give them for. So protect yourself. And here's my advice for you. You should always make them pay full price for 30% of a project. So for example, if somebody wants you to do 10 artworks for them, charge them full price for the first 3, and then go ahead and give them that discounted rate. Make them show you that they are committed to that process and they're committed to that project, because if not, then they can scram, and they're probably just trying to scam you on that note too. And now that you understand this essential component of pricing, we have to talk about this. You need to scale your artwork and your pricing periodically. So here's what I mean by this, because literally, again, nobody talks about this topic and it's super important. So as you are attracting clients and as your skills are getting better, you need to go ahead and level up your pricing. So overall, here are my benchmarks to look out for so that you know when to raise your pricing. So number one would be when you have a lot of clients. So when you start to get more clients and you're starting to gain some momentum here, start to raise your prices because you become more in demand. You have to remember, y'all, as an artist, you are both product and producer. So when you are in higher demand, your prices need to reflect that as well. Another thing that should happen is that if you're getting multiple clients within a single project, like right now, I'm working on 5 different artworks for 5 different clients. The first 2 were my normal pricing. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I make them charge a little bit more. And it's logical in this sense because my attention is divided amongst more. I need to stay invested in all of them, and therefore I need to charge more. And then at the end of that, I'll start to, again, increase my prices. So remember, think about yourself as both product and producer, and when you're in higher demand, your rates need to reflect that too. And lastly, let's talk about the topic of contracts and copyrights. Contracts, good, important, but not always necessary for individual clients. If you are going to do it, you can simply just give them a list of your overall terms, which should include things like the overall scope of the project, the timeline on it, the payment structure, the rights to it. And on the topic of rights, I'm going to talk to you about copyrights. Very plain and simple, y'all. You make artwork for somebody, it is yours, 100%. Just because somebody pays you for artwork does not make it their property. It's your intellectual property. So it is always going to be yours unless you sign something called an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement. If you're going to sign an NDA, you need to be charged at least 3 to 4 figures for it, by the way. So overall, this is stuff that can be in a contract that can help protect you, but again, you don't need to. And if you want to find easy templates for it, just go ahead and look online. So now that you know how to do this properly, if you want to learn more about how to get started, make more money off commissions, where to find them, and what to avoid, check out these videos.